RIDGE group.com. Check them out if you have needs for their facilities, and many families do these days. So.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so let's take a call from Barb, who is on. Derek's on the phone, so I am going to take. Is that Barb?
Yes.
Good,
sure.
I win.
Wow.
2 in a row I've done right. So, Barb, what can we do for you?
Well, I just I was listening while I was in my car to the whole conversation about the Alabama
Roy Moore
voter fraud kind of thing. And so anyway, I guess one opinion I have is to do what the liberals do, and they get into office, and then, under Republican guise, and then they vote liberal. So I guess we've left to level the playing field and have some of our conservative people get into office as Democrats, and then they can vote their conscience and, maybe it'll kind of level up the playing field. But I also wanted to add that we've lived in Ipsy all our lives, 69 years, and we have raised 4 very strong conservative people, 3 sons and a daughter. They're in their 40s and to mid-30s. And from them, we have 11 grandchildren who know how to vote and speak their minds. Some of them are in high school in Tecumseh and Mount Pleasant and Ipsy area. And they're able to be confident and, confront the news that doesn't, that just placates to the liberals.
Train up a child?
And the false news.
Yep.
So,
train up a child in the way they should go?
We're proud of our kids. So.
Yep. I like your plan. There's just one major flaw in it. Democrats vet their candidates.
I know.
Go ahead, Rick.
Well, actually, I years ago I ran for office, and I ran in a community that was only going to go Democrat. Now, I've always been a diehard conservative, and I ran as a Democrat, and I even let them know after I was elected. I was very conservative in my views, which really disappointed the Ann Arbor News, which was actually out in paper at that time. But I'll tell you what, I never felt so disgusting in my life to carry that Democrat moniker behind my name.
I know.
I'm serious. It's just I ran for office a few times in that district, but I refused to run with that D behind my name because I'll tell you what that party stands for. You run underneath the name of a party, you have to at least sit there and give credit to, give some credit to their platform. When you run as a Democrat, you're kind of saying, I agree with their platform. And there's nothing about the Democrat platform that I could ever agree with. And I think most Republicans out there have enough of a conscience about themselves to sit there and say, we cannot keep acknowledging the Democrat platform as being right.
Yeah, or you get treated like Pat Colbeck does by the other Republicans. They just won't support you.
It's like visually wearing a lump of coal around your neck.
So it really is. And I think what we need more in this country is less lying. We need less rhinos. If the rhinos want to be liberal, let them run as Democrats. Let them endorse that platform that they so much want to hang on to. And let the conservatives have the Republican Party and run with that platform. And see who wins. And stop playing games with the parties. Because in the end, parties are nonprofit organizations that are not government entities, and that's where most people forget. The Democrat Party is not a government entity. Neither is the Republican.
Yep.
Those are two clubs in which they're going to endorse the members from their own club, and you don't always get a good member from the club endorsed by the party.
Anything else, Barb?
I'm sort of waiting for any conservatives who are within the range financially of buying up all of the radio, TV, newspaper media so that we can get the truth out there.
What do you think about Disney just buying a lot of Fox?
I'm sorry?
Did you just hear Disney is purchasing a lot of Fox
Yeah, but they missed the news.
They don't get the news. They don't get the news station. There's a few things they don't get. They don't get the news station and something else.
Well, that's why I'm trying to, Barb, that's why I'm trying to grow the Current into a media empire so that I could take over buy the Free Press next and make it profitable.
He now has 19 subscribers. If you want to be 20.
Oh, hey, awesome.
Hey, Barb, you have a
growing.
Merry Christmas. I got to take a call from the boss.
I forgot about him. We got 20 subscribers with the Drift. He subscribes
right.
too.
Merry Christmas,
Like I
Barb.
said, it's growing. Wow.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. All right.
Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
Well, let's see if I can do this without hanging up on him. Hello, Gary.
Hey, Ed. Hey, Pastor Rick.
Hello.
It's just like old times.
I missed the first half of the show. Sorry, I was in the middle of something.
Oh, good.
So I don't
He
know.
did. He'd missed
Derek
it.
said you had been talking a little bit about John Conyers and whatnot. But
Hey, and the recording's gone, too. It didn't record.
Have you talked at all about this week's news, the FBI catastrophe that's going on?
That was next, but your call preempted that.
Well, I'm gonna let you get to it. I just wanted to poke my head in the door, so to speak, and say, good job, thank you very much, and just press forward with it, because I think people need to know that. And I'm not bagging on our field agents and the rank and file of the FBI, but most certainly the top leadership of the FBI needs to be in jail.
Right.
All of them, from McCabe to Rosenstein. Well, maybe Rosenstein's a good guy. I don't know, but he certainly hasn't. We'll see what that the Inspector General report comes out that everyone's now thinking is going to be huge. I would hope so, but who knows?
We got some Trey Gowdy audio grilling Rosenstein.
Gary, are you sure we should be having this conversation here, or should we wait and have it on our secret phones?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And of course,
all right. Well, I'm going to let you guys get to it, because I think I'm going to run out of a cell area here shortly. But thank you again so much, and to all the listeners, make sure you stay involved, and we need to get rid of Dabby Stabenow in 2018, please.
Amen. Hey, Merry Christmas.
Amen. Merry Christmas to you guys. We'll see you next week.
Merry Christmas.
Bye. Okay, I don't know. Oh, Todd from Whitmore Lake. Okay, let's try that one. Todd, did I hang up on you?
Of course not.
I'm getting good at this. I might
wouldn't
be a
let that
professional
happen.
someday.
One of these days, you can push buttons for a living.
There you go.
Hey, it's terrible when Gary's going to run out of cell service. He's probably riding a dolphin down there in Florida sunbathing.
Yeah.
I just had to call you guys.
Yeah, while we're sitting up here looking at all that white stuff.
So what you got, Todd?
Yeah, thanks, Gary. We appreciate that phone call. Hey, but hey, I was just calling in to talk to you guys about liberals, and we can, unfortunately, when it comes to liberals, I would actually love to talk to a liberal, because you can probably get to them a little bit. Now, when it comes to what we are still calling people that are progressives liberals, we need to do a little research on that, because a lot of the information that came up through the the election, and even prior to that, even Hillary Clinton talked about progressives and progressivism. Because think about this: a progressive is somebody progressing us to totalitarianism, which, if Hillary Clinton was in office, we would be in serious trouble.
Oh, amen.
So people need to stop and think about who's talking. The old definition of a liberal doesn't fit anymore. And if it does, it fits for only very few certain people. You can actually talk to them and have a conversation. But when it comes to progressives, forget it.
Would you say Alan Dershowitz is a progressive or a liberal from what you know of him?
I don't know enough about him to speak on that, so I really can't say, so I shouldn't.
Because he's somebody that has a fair mind. You know what I mean? Somebody who's fair and balanced when he looks at issues, and he's obviously liberal, but I don't know if he's a progressive.
Here's the thing, is being a liberal has changed its meaning even before our lifetime.
Yeah, classical liberal.
If you take a look at classical liberal, that would have been Thomas Jefferson would have been a classical liberal. He would not in any way, shape, or form fit in today's Democrat Party.
More of what we call libertarian?
No. I would say much more pragmatic, wanting to do good for the people, but still not letting government overreach. Okay. There are some parts of the Libertarian Party that I would sit there and say, yeah, fall into that old traditional liberal view. But in the 80s, the Democrat Party started taking, I'd even go back before that, even back into the 40s, they started taking the party and moving it from liberal to socialist. Two different things. Socialist is a monetary way of dealing with things. It's a business construct, so to speak. And they started pushing this liberalism as socialism. And that's where we are now. And now we give it the name progressivism. In the 80s, being called a liberal was a dirty word. Matter of fact, the liberals stopped calling themselves liberals. The Democrats stopped calling themselves liberals because they had spoiled the name so much.
Yeah, it's soiled the name.
They've soiled the name of liberals so much that they could no longer even attach it to themselves. They had to go with something else. So they said, we're not liberals, we're progressives.
Newspeak.
And progressive just means socialist. And that's exactly what it means. And you find some honest, find a few somewhat honest Democrats. They'll tell you progressivism is nothing more than socialism with a different title.
And socialism is nothing but communism light. Todd, you got anything more before we go on to the FBI?
Just to let you know that ABC buying Fox, you'll see big changes, even though that there was changes with the two sons coming in and taking it over.
Yeah, that's scary.
So ABC to me is progressivism.
Now, does Disney own ABC?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, Todd. Well, thanks for calling in. Appreciate it. And
Disney's
you also
buying up everything.
Yes.
I want to point this out. You know, Disney bought up Marvel comic books, and they bought up the whole Star Wars thing. So,
well, at least they improved Star Wars.
And you know, you heard what they're doing with Thor, didn't you?
Oh, woman.
They're going to bring a woman in.
How did they do that with what just happened in the latest movie? I don't get that.
I don't
want to know.
So look at this. Princess Leia and Thor will become the new Disney princess.
Okay. Todd, thanks for calling in. Merry Christmas. Oh, Todd hung up.
He hung up.
Todd, nonetheless, Merry Christmas.
Merry
You're
Christmas.
Still listening.
FBI.
So, FBI. Well, actually, deep state intelligence. All right. So, one, I don't have audio, so you're going to have to listen to me. I'll make it quick. This is Mike Morrell, former acting director of the CIA from 2012 to 2013. He's saying he's taken some of the blame for Trump's feud with the CIA. He says, in the intelligence business, we would say that Mr. Putin had recruited Mr. Trump as an unwitting agent of the Russian Federation. He says, my training as an intelligence officer taught me to call it as I see it. This is what I did for the CIA. This is what I'm doing now. Our nation will be much safer with Hillary Clinton as a president. Well, that was what he said then, and now he's thinking, this may have left a bad impression with Trump. Maybe Trump thought that we were opposing him. You think? So he goes on to say, then he becomes president, and he's supposed to be getting a daily brief from the moment he becomes the president-elect, Morrell said, right? And he doesn't. And within a few days, there's leaks about how he's not taking his briefing. So he must have thought, right? What? Wait a minute. I'm supposed to be taking a briefing? Why am I not getting one? I don't think these guys like me very much. I'm paraphrasing Morrell here. So that's, our major intelligence function. The branches, the CIA, the Department of Defense, and then, of course, the FBI. And so now, who else in intelligence might be opposed to Trump? And there's an query that Trey Gowdy did of Assistant, some would say acting, Attorney General Rosenstein, since Jeff Sessions has basically deposed himself from everything important except chasing down MS-13 gangs. And, Derek, would you play the Trey Gowdy audio, please? Thank you. He's nodding his head yes.
The reason we have special counsel, this is a very important point, and you know it. The reason we have special counsel is because of a conflict of interest. The regulation itself specifically makes reference to a conflict of interest. And we don't like conflicts of interest because it undercuts people's confidence in both the process and the result. So let's be really clear why we have special counsel. There was either a real or perceived conflict of interest that we were fearful would either impact the result or people's confidence in the process. That's why we have something called special counsel, and that's why we have special counsel in this fact pattern. And then lo and behold, those who are supposed to make sure there are no conflicts of interest seem to have a few of their own. There's a senior prosecutor who sent obsequious emails to a fact witness